Thanks for clicking! The London and St. Thomas Association of Realtors, LSTAR, has released London's real estate data for the month of August, showing a major increase in the number of listings coming to the market, as well as price decreases all across the board. Yet the data comes as the London Free Press, our local paper, has decided to become a shill for RE/MAX, telling us that the market is indeed bouncing back. Then again, it's also telling us that sellers may need to drop their prices. You can't have it both ways. You can't have the market bouncing back and sellers have to drop their prices. Pick a nonsense and stick to it.
The words my guidance counselor said to me.
Evidently.
Way back in high school.
Meanwhile, as we'll see today, August data shows that the real estate market isn't that much better than last year, with sales only marginally better, falling prices all across the board, homes selling for even more under asking price, not to mention a major increase in new listings. So what I want to do today is go over London's real estate data for the month of August, take a deeper dive into the Free Press article and its reporting on RE/MAX report, and then discuss some implications. The Bank of Canada is set to make its interest rate announcement in a few weeks' time and have a press conference held thereafter, which could very well impact London's real estate market heading into the fall. We will obviously have an update out on both on this channel. Make sure you click like and subscribe if you want to get those updates, but for now, let's get into this data. Under the data, first up, the benchmark price. That's the price of a home that represents the most popular set of features, which was down in August. July's benchmark was sitting at $578,900. That dropped about $6K to $572,400 in August. So the benchmark price down about $6K since last month, but down about $50,000 since this point in time last year. Next, the average price, which also fell. London's average price in July was $652,300, and that dropped about $4,000 to $648,700 in August. So prices down about $4,000 since last month, but up about $20,000 since last year, indicating that more of that higher end stuff is selling. Next, the median price, which also fell much more substantially. The median price, if you'll remember, that's where half as many homes sell over that price and half as many sell under. London's median in July was $603,000, and that dropped down to $585,000 in August. So the median down $18K since last month, down $15,000 since last year. Next, the sales to list price ratio, which tells us by how much over or under asking the average home sells. So if a home is listed for $100K and sells for $97, the SLPR would be 97. That was down in August. July's SLPR was 97.6, now sitting at 97.5. So on average, homes are selling for 2.5% under asking price.
Minus our commission.
And finally, the months of inventory measurement, the MOI, which shot right up. The MOI, if you'll remember, that measures if no more homes came to the market, how long would it take for London to completely run out of homes for sale. London's MOI in July was 4.3, now sitting at 4.7.
There's no stopping it now.
So all in all, we have the benchmark down 6K, the average down 4K, the median price down 18K. Homes are selling for more under asking, and we had a big upsurge in relative inventory. As such, with those falling prices and increasing inventory, buyers have an awful lot of buying power. So as always, make sure you have those finance conditions, those home inspections. If your realtor can't, outright refuses, or doesn't understand how to protect your financial interests, get a realtor that will. They're a dime a dozen right now, and even then, in a lot of the cases, you're still overpaying. But the real story in August, again, was the sales numbers, with sales coming in at 413, 28 sales better than last August, worst August in recent history, but still massively low for the last 12 Augusts. And even with this marginal increase in sales that we saw last month, that coincides with a major increase in new listings, coming in at 942, the highest number of new listings that London's seen in August for the past 12 years. And on this, 2 points. The bouncing back of any real estate market requires two things.
Envelope marked bribe.
But it requires not only an increase in sales, but also either stable or falling supply, which we just don't have right now. We have new listings coming in at their highest level in 12 years, and the months of inventory measurement also shooting back up to where it was last year, back when prices were $50,000 higher. And second, we're seeing these increases in new listings at a time when it's just an awful time to be selling your home. As we saw, that home is going to sell for under asking. That home is going to sit for almost a month. conditional offers, etc. That tells me that there's at least some stress in London's housing market, as why would you try to sell now unless you absolutely had to? And the looseness of London's market is even more sharply demonstrated when we look at the number of active listings sitting on the market, coming in at 1,946. Again, the highest number of active listings sitting on London's market heading into the fall for the past 12 falls.
We have LSTAR.
But according to the Free Press's account of a Remax Outlook survey, things could be turning around, as, according to the Free Press, a recent poll shows that 46% of those surveys said the economy is going to be holding steady over the next 6 months, which is indeed good for home sellers. Yep, Londoners, that's what got you a front page real estate is going to bounce back headline. 46% of those nationally surveyed think that the economy is going to hold. And once more, as of the recording of this video, that survey isn't even available. When you try to click on it on Google, it directs you to Remax, find a real estate agent. Thankfully, though, the Free Press went the extra mile in backing up that data with some expert commentary, speaking to a Remax real estate broker who says that confidence is coming back. Look at the sales numbers. Does that little bit of an uptick indicate that confidence is coming back? Yet, according to the Free Press, despite that awesome prospect that confidence is coming back to the market, sellers could still very well have to adjust their expectations. Yet, as I mentioned in the intro, you can't have it both ways. If buyers are coming back, if confidence is returning, then why do sellers need to adjust their prices? Just wait it out, prices will be popping back up. Well, says the article, if you want your home to sell fast, then don't list it at pandemic pricing. I don't think anyone's listing at pandemic pricing, but if you want your home to sell fast, then you're going to have to drop your price. Which I'm sure that's the only reason why realtors are pushing that homeowners get realistic and price their homes aggressively. Price their homes accordingly. There's any number of euphemisms, they all mean the same thing.
I need money.
It has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that 2.5% commission on $600,000 is $16,000, whereas 2.5% commission on $550,000 is $13,750, compared with $0 commission on a home that doesn't sell at all. I'm sure that never enters into the equation. It surely doesn't enter into media parlance. So, home sales up very, very marginally since this point in time last year, but this point in time last year was one of the worst on records, as articulated by the exact same author of today's article, saying that the real estate market could be bouncing back. We have a 12-year at least high number of active listings sitting on the market heading into the fall, and prices are continuing to drop. Whether or not the London market is going to swiftly bounce back obviously remains to be seen, but we will obviously continue to take a data-driven approach in assessing its prospects. Make sure you click like and subscribe if you want to get those updates, but for now, thanks so much for watching.